Okay, I'm doing valve cover gaskets and spark plugs for this 2008 Infiniti G37. So first thing that you want to do is take off the air intake boots, take off the throttle bodies, just kind of like have them to the side. And I started removing the little hoses right here. I already broke everything loose. There's these little brackets right here, 10 mil, 10 mil, 10 mil. This hose. Okay, I took off all the vacuum lines, took off all the bolts holding down the intake manifold. It was a 12 millimeter. So basically 12 millimeter and a 10 millimeter, and some pliers just to take these off. Pliers, 10 mil. Pliers right here. I need to take that one out. Okay. Usually I just like to break them loose. Okay, these are 10 mil bolted on right here, and then the vacuum lines by the throttle body, and it should, oh, and this one right here, don't forget that one. I think I found a lighter behind here. Previous guy must have been a smoker. And that's the last bolt right there. That's how you remove the intake manifold. Now we're gonna go and do the valve cover gaskets next. All right, make sure you cover these up. Alrighty. Yeah, now once that's all covered up, you can keep going at the rest. All right, we're gonna take off all those zip ties for this wire harness, take off ignition coils, and then after that, just clear up space to start unbolting the valve cover. All right, I took off the wire harness from the valve cover. All the little zip ties that are clipped on, I took them off. Disconnected the ignition coils. This was pretty easy. I know there's not much space inside there, but basically just press it down with your hand, and then put the flat, once you know the clip's all the way down, press it down and then pop it like that. Just twist it with a flat head. Okay, so now we're gonna take off the coils. You guys can see this is a little bit oily. This one's not that bad. Okay. Yeah, on this one we're also gonna do spark plugs. Alright, now it's just about getting the 10 mils all the way around. There should be enough clearance to be able to slip this out of there. I didn't take off the coolant lines on the throttle body because I'm not trying to bleed out the system again. So we'll make it work like that. Okay, so the valve cover is loosened up already. There's just not enough clearance through this harness, and I realized that this thing is this thing has Two 12mm bolts, one right here and one on the other side of there. Yeah, so I'm gonna take those off, and then that should give enough clearance to lift it up. All right, we got the valve cover off. There was this sensor down here. This one was kind of holding it. It went here, this one right here. So that one down there, make sure to take that one off. The two 12mm behind this harness. Disconnect the, yeah, you just got to make sure to take off all the clips around. I took this clip down here off too. Yeah, and then that gave me enough space to pull it out. I didn't struggle too hard, so once you do that, it comes out pretty easy. I brought it up from here, coming up. Okay, so right here is where your leak was. It was escaping through this little way right there, going down. You got all this. Okay, so it's all cleaned up. I cleaned up all along the edges of the valve, where the valve cover is going to be seated onto the head, and then I cleaned up the edges of this valve cover, the spark plug seals right here. Just right here. Clean those up. Okay, I got all the bolts seated down on it. They're not fully tightened yet. I would start with this middle one first, then this one, then this one, then this one, then that one, and then that one, and then this bottom corner one, then the top one, then that bottom corner one over there, and then just go over them again. You want to start with the middle so you don't sandwich the valve cover unevenly. It could get warped, and then if you start trying to tighten them down one at a time like that, going all around, you'll warp the valve cover, and you'll more than likely have to replace the whole valve cover after that, and you'll still have a vacuum leak. So start from the middle and start working your way out. Go from there, then there, then there, then there, then the other side ones. Okay, we're replacing spark plugs as well. This is the old one, Denso. We're gonna put NGKs, and we got the anti-seize right here for the threads. The socket size 9/16. This is number 2. For the spark plugs, once you have them fully seated, I'm pretty sure most people know already, but once they're fully seated, okay, so once they're fully seated, you do like another, I don't know, like almost 90 degrees That's to crush the washer. All right, and that right there is good. Now to do these. And make sure you do it holding this firmly so you don't break no spark plugs while you're tightening them. Okay, so right there seated, we'll do, I think it's like a 45 or 50 degree turn. Yeah. So right there. And new spark plugs are in. Okay, I made space already, moved the throttle body, put the hoses to the side right here. We're gonna take off the little clips for this wire harness. We're gonna take off this bracket right here, 10 mil, take off this, it's gonna be 10 mil. Ignition coils, and then that, and then this harness clip right here. Once you take that off, we'll also take this bracket off, I believe, this 210s. And then once we take that off, that should give us the clearance to remove the valve cover gasket. All right, I got the first ignition coil out. It looks like it had like just a little tiny bit of oil. This is the second. That one had a lot more oil. This one, just a little bit. Almost nothing. All right, so now that everything's off, we have space to take off all those 10 mils and remove the valve cover. All right, so I took out all the bolts. Don't forget the one that's under this fuel rail. It's right there. I just moved it a little bit, and I moved it very gently and kind of bent a little bit, but just be very careful. So I took them all off. Now just stick the screwdriver in here and pry it up carefully. Make sure you don't, if it's giving you a hard time coming up, go over it. Make sure you didn't forget to take off any bolts, because this is plastic. You got to be very gentle. If not, you're gonna have to spend more money replacing parts that were unnecessary to replace. So just take your time, make sure it comes off carefully, and as you can tell, there's enough clearance to just come right up like that. All right, there you go. That's the other valve cover. This one I feel like was a lot easier. Maybe it's just because I located everything faster because of the other side. So there you go, this is your gasket. Okay, so we could see right here the past person put gasket maker, which everyone has their preference. I personally don't like using gasket maker because I've noticed when I've done these jobs on other cars, when I've done the valve cover gasket job on other cars, usually where it tends to have the leak from, just like how this one is right there, is because of the gasket maker. It ends up seeping out through there from the edges. See? So up top, I mean, it's kind of like at an angle, so it's not going to really be noticeable up top, but at the bottom for sure it leaks through the gasket maker. You can see obviously a little bit of like the oil seeping through right here. Yeah. On the other side, I didn't install no gasket maker. I just put the gasket and the spark plug seals, and I seated it down carefully. I made sure everything was on there good, because I know sometimes they'll just like slip off of the cover, like right here. Yeah, I know sometimes that these things will just slip off when you put them like that, or on the sides too. But if you do it careful enough and you take your time, it'll go on without putting gasket maker. Okay, so now that everything's off, same thing, we're gonna clean up. We're gonna take off all the gasket maker, wipe everything down good. The same thing here, wipe like all the cracks where the new gasket's gonna go, and then we'll go back to the install. All right, I cleaned up the surface where the valve cover gasket seats, the spark plug tubes. I cleaned all that up. The valve cover itself, where the gasket is sitting, also the spark plug tubes. And now it's ready for install. So I'm gonna install it, and then everything's gonna start going back. I need to do the spark plugs on this side, and I believe the gasket came with like other little O-rings, like for like the fuel line, and like 1 or 2 other like O-rings. All right, as you guys could tell, it's seated good without gasket maker. This is gonna help it so it could all sit down evenly. This gasket maker, it ends up drying up faster than the gasket itself, and then that's where you're gonna have leaks in a couple, I don't know, maybe a couple 100 or 1,000 miles. Okay, I got the valve cover just tightened down by hand with a 10 mil socket. I haven't used the ratchet yet. I started from the middle, worked my way up out from this one, then back down to this one, then back up to that one, then back to this one, and that one, then that one, then that one, then that one, and then I did the side ones right here and right here. The reason I did that is because this valve cover is plastic, and if you go one by one all around like that without jumping, like how I'm showing you guys, you're gonna warp the valve cover and it'll cause a vacuum leak. You'll need to replace the valve cover, and the whole job you did would be pointless if you don't do this part. So and you don't want to go gorilla mode on this because it's plastic, so very easy to just to strip the threads, and that'll just make your job more difficult than what it has to be. So I usually hold it up closer to the head of the ratchet versus like the end, because if you hold from the end, you're gonna get more leverage. This is more controlled, so you don't have to so you don't accidentally strip the threads, like I'm saying. Alright, now that we did these, so here, work our way up to this one. Here, this one. Oop. The last one's like right there. Here. All right, now that we got all of them tightened, we'll do one more check all around, because since it's a gasket, if you tighten one down, it might make the other one a bit loose. So like you could tell right here, got a bit loose. So now I'm holding it kind of like midways of the ratchet. I don't want to go too crazy trying to tighten these down, because I'm not trying to break any bolts or strip any threads. So you're gonna feel it like that, you know, maybe like a 40-degree turn. If you have an extension, you're gonna get a lot more leverage, and it'll be easier to snap the bolts. So if you could do it with with no extension on there, just the socket and the ratchet, that'll be your best bet. just like that. The valve cover, both valve covers are on. I'm gonna just do the spark plugs, and then after that everything starts going back on. All right, I got all the old spark plugs out. There's the one somewhere. Okay, these are the new ones, the NGK Iridium, friggin' $35 spark plugs. Couldn't believe it when I heard the price. So, usually what I do for the spark plugs, because I notice a lot of people's work that I've gone back on when I do these type of jobs is that they're like super loose, and they're not supposed to be that loose because there's a lot of compression going on right there. So once it's seated, give it about like a 70 to 90 degree turn. So right there. All right there, seated. Always hold it from the head so you don't break your spark plugs. All right there, seated. I usually just adjust it kind of like that, and then try to get like over here, 90 degrees almost 90 degrees. There you go. All right, spark plugs are in, and this is what I'm talking about right here. Look, this is a crush washer, so it's meant to get crushed. I'm gonna clean these ignition coils, like inside the holes and like whatever little oil it has around. I don't have electric cleaner, but I have this sensor cleaner, so just a quick cleaning just to make sure there's no oil that's gonna go back. So when this goes back on, it's better to put a little bit of oil or grease. If you guys have a little bit of grease or oil, lubricate it and then seat it on. You don't want this to bind or to seat incorrectly, and then it's no good. So oil or grease, just a little slab, it'll have it going smoothly. All right, so I got all the little clips back on over here. The wires connected to the ignition coils, I'm gonna bolt those down just in a bit. Right here, I haven't bolted this bracket down because I need to tie this down right there. That's gonna be a 12 mil. These two right here, two little 10 mils, and then this bracket right here is another 10 mil. 10 mil right here, like that. Then this clip is back in here. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's about it right now. I'm gonna start getting all the vacuum lines connected. All right, so I know for most people the hardest thing is to figure out which bolts went where. I'm gonna teach you guys what I do to make that a bit easier. I just get like a flat surface and start pairing up all the bolts that are the same with each other. Like that. I kind of already know what goes where, but this is gonna make you work a lot cleaner. You're not gonna stress out as much. You're gonna be able to keep going, reinstalling it easier, just because you have easier access to what you're looking at. All right, so this is how I organize the bolts before doing a reinstall. It helps me get a better idea of what I was looking at when I was removing everything. It doesn't take that much time to do this, and it helps you reinstall everything as precise as you can. So as you guys can see, these are all the bolts and screws. All right, now we're gonna keep installing. All right, so these are here are gonna be the ignition coil screws. I got one of them in there already. Then put these three. Do the same thing here. I'll tighten these up after when I come back and start putting all this stuff back together. Yeah. They're just plastic, so don't tighten them too crazy either. They just need to be seated. If you can do it with like a 10mm screwdriver like this, probably be good enough. I just give it like a little bit of a turn like that. Like that. That's it. They're just plastic, so it doesn't need to be crazy. All right, now we'll do this right here. That's gonna be a 12mm. More than likely this right here. Yeah, that goes in here like this. Probably should have put this bracket after, but it's alright, we'll work with it. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Now I'll put these 10mm. So it's either gonna be these or these. I'm thinking it's gonna be these. Well, since it looks dirtier, these look cleaner. I think it's gonna be the other one. So we'll go with the dirtier looking ones. Same thing, just from the middle. You don't, if you go here, don't go too crazy. Alright. There's that. Now we have two brackets here. One, this one, and then this one down here. That we'll use the cleaner ones. That one, and this one right here. Okay. This is good, this is good. It's for the throttle body. Alrighty, so we basically got everything lined up on this side. Connected all the little connectors that were around. Okay, so I started on this side. I already got most of the stuff back on there, all the connectors as well. I put the vacuum lines back through here. And then I have these two. This one is for this side of the harness, of this harness right here, this one, and then this bolt was the one that came out of the other side right here, this hole right here, and then this one is for this hole right here, coming in from behind the engine like that. All right, so I'm gonna put this one in. I just got them started by hand. I'm pulling it to make sure it come off. Now this one. Here. Those were 12mm, and I'm using the short socket because there's not much space back there. It's just plastic, so just don't go gorilla mode on tightening it down. back on. On this side, I connected all the ignition coils, and then there's this little cable down here that's kind of like hidden. Make sure to connect this connector back down there. It's kind of hard to see it. Then the one behind here, make sure to connect this one behind the engine. There's a connector right there. These right here, this is probably gonna, I think this goes to the sensor on the manifold. There was one more. It's right here. This one right here goes right here. And then I believe this gets bolted onto the manifold as well, if I'm not mistaken. This right here, oh, okay. I pass this to the bottom, like this, like that, and this, yep, it has more space. Okay, now it's more free. Okay. Make sure everything's good, there's no loose connections. Now that we have that done, we can proceed to put the intake manifold back on. So we're gonna go to the auto parts, get new intake manifold gaskets and throttle body gaskets, just so it could be a good job, full complete job done with the gaskets up top. And we're gonna clean out these throttle bodies too. They're a bit dirty. Both of them are a bit dirty, so we'll clean those out. And basically it's all pretty much back on from here. The rest is pretty straightforward. Throttle body cables right here, I'll put those on after. Same on that side. These all go to the manifold, and then we're just gonna clean this. I didn't really open up the flap, so I won't hear nobody complaining about saying that I opened the flap. Clean the surface of the throttle body. We're gonna mount to the gasket. Go ahead and kind of like zoom in a little bit. Put the zoom in. Quick cleaning like that. I didn't open it because it's electronic, so that's why I know people have like complained about that before, but I didn't do it this time. So clean inside there. Now I'm gonna do the other one. Give me that gasket, please. Go ahead, zoom in on it. Not like perfect, but way cleaner. You can't open up the flaps because then it might like mess up the, like how it's synchronized right here with the electronics. So it's just a quick cleaning like that. Just make sure you go over all your connectors and all that. Make sure you don't have no loose connections. So it should only be this one right here. That's gonna be for, where is it at? For right here. For this part of the manifold. So when you're gonna install is gonna be like that. Right here. This is gonna go right here. And then this is for this bracket right here. So you could bolt this back onto your manifold. This hose right here, like I said, this connector right here, and then you're gonna have this and this. Aside from that, you shouldn't really have much else. These are like, yeah, we could bolt this bracket back down right now. Either way, we could put it right now. We could put this. It's not gonna intervene, so we could still put the manifold, and it's not gonna intervene. Make sure it's nice and clean. If it's not that clean, like mine. Let's see. This is actually good because you're gonna clean up the valves from the inside. Not really much that could clean them, you know. Make sure you let it kind of dry out, I guess, before you turn it on. But either way, that's where the combustion ends up happening at, so you'll be fine. Look at your gaskets, make sure that nothing's loose, because that's the most important thing. If you line them up, there's this one right here, and this one. It's gonna go right here. So just make sure you line your stuff up good, that nothing's in the way. Move stuff like that. so I got it seated already, as you can tell, right there, right here. Now and then all the holes are lined up. So I'm gonna start putting the screws in. Here you go. Very hands up. These two nuts are here. This one. Come back here, dude. So, same thing, we're gonna start from the middle and then work our way out. We don't want to start from this end and work that way because it could warp the manifold, and then it's not gonna seat right, and you're gonna have a vacuum leak, and then you're gonna need to replace the whole manifold. So just start from the middle. You're gonna go over them twice. Well, that's how I do it. If you guys want to do it your own way, go ahead. And I hold it from the head starting off because I'm not trying to go crazy on it. I'm trying to have this seat properly first, and then I'm gonna give it its final tighten. I tighten them down as far as it could go, from basically like holding it from the head, because if you hold it from here you get a higher leverage point and you don't really see how hard you're actually torquing it down. So now we could do this. Once it stops right here without putting too much pressure, you could do a 40-degree turn, or like around, yeah, usually it's like closer to like 70. Yeah, right there. So like a 70-degree turn once you feel it bottom out, and then just right there. So right there, just a little, right there. Right there. These. There, bottoms out. Alright. That's good. I don't think you ever really have to strip a bolt if you do it like that, or strip the threads of a bolt. Okay. Now we'll start connecting. I think we should start with this little bracket piece right here. This was like that, and it was kind of blocking it from lining up right here. So let's move this to the side. I believe we need this too as well. Okay, so this one goes here, and the lower one. Okay. This goes right here. Can you hold this in? All right. Over here. Yeah. Put this right up. You're gonna be like a grumpy guy, huh? Okay. We got this bracket connected. Come over here. Point, like, stick the phone over here. We got this bracket connected for the sensor. We got the bracket for the vacuum lines right here connected. Connect the sensor right here. The vacuum's connected. Put this clamp back. Let's see. This is the other vacuum right here. Over here, over here. Yeah. Right here. Yeah, for this, it's a C35. Yeah. Same thing, skip one because you don't want to do the thing correctly. You want to see correctly. Make sure it's flush first, and then you can go over the second time. So now that it's seated all the way down, just like a 40-degree turn is fine. Like 70 degree. Just don't go past that. All right. Yeah, that's good right there. Sensor, right here, point over here down low. Connect your sensor. You have your goes up here. Yeah, here. Right over here. Okay. There goes. That goes right there. Okay, careful with this too. This. Check it. Bring your intake boot. It goes on there?
Yeah, look.
Yeah, I'm dumb. Okay. Yeah, we're on track then. Okay, so come bring that so I could get it on camera. Alright, so this right here, this piece, if you're wondering how it goes, this one goes right there. Boom. It's gonna go like that. It's gonna go like that, and then this is gonna go in here to that insert, to your intake boot. Okay, now we're back on track. Let's do this. Hold it again. Thanks. Point over here so I could get this clamp over. You see? Okay. Okay. Get those hooked up. Put these on the throttle body here. Hold this. Point over. Try to record. We're doing so I can have a video. Connect the sensor. Okay. These are connected. Now I'll put these little brackets back on. There's one right there. I took off several ones. Alright, we're done. Here's another one. Point in the hole. Yeah, I can't see. Okay, I think I got it. Where this should go then? I think. Oh, right here. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so there's this other vacuum liner here. Pliers. Alright. Put this one back on. here. For sure. Okay. And now just one more. Oh, here it is. Look, the last one, I found it. Right there. Can you hold this cable like that? Hard. I don't even think it's enough. Alright, this is all for the top stuff. Hold it carefully. Just get the clamp for that. Oh, yep, there you go. Okay, let's get it. Connect the mass airflows. All right, we put everything back, connected the mass sensors, everything. We connected everything. Go ahead, turn it on.